afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another series of HR Voices with BW People. Today we have Mr. Rajeev Bhardwaj with us, VP and CHRO of Sun Life Asia Service Centers. Welcome on board, sir. It's a pleasure for us to be speaking with you and for you to giving us time and sharing your knowledgeable inputs onto today's discussion that we'll be talking about is changing landscapes of reward and recognition strategies in today's times.
Thank you, Sugan. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. For people who hearing the session, just a small introduction of what exactly we'll be covering and talking about today. In this talent-led market, reward strategies are becoming enormously important to help organizations attract, motivate, and retain the very best candidates. Rewards can no longer work in silos but in close congruence with one's performance and compensations. In today's time, we need smarter rewards to make it a holistic, well-rounded, and an ongoing experience rather than a singular article or just a one-time event. Smarter reward represents the toolkit of an organization that needs to be chosen, offered, and align a value proposition with an employee, resulting in a satisfied, engaged, and productive workforce that creates desired business performances and outcomes. Sir, I open the forum to you with the first question. From a traditional to the current hybrid ecosystem, the entire approach towards rewards and recognition charter has undergone a huge shift. What, according to you, are the top three trends that you see are surfacing in 2023 and beyond?
Sure. Thank you. First of all, Sugan, thank you for having me here. Reward and recognition is an intrinsic part of managing productivity and human capital. And every organization and every manager has to pay due importance to it.
Right.
From a shift and trends perspective, like you said, 2023 and beyond, I think the first and foremost is the greater push to digital. So more and more organizations are looking at moving to the digital awards. One, it takes away the logistic challenges of arranging the mechanics of vouchers and letters and things like that. Secondly, it is more timely and the immediacy. You are able to immediately recognize something in the now rather than at a predetermined interval. Many times organizations end up rewarding long after the event is over, moving, not really helping with that. And third is that we also leverage the social media where our employees are so much engaged in as a digital natives of the generation we employ. In Sun Life, for example, we use the Facebook platform of Workplace for our internal communication, where we are able to recognize and share the recognitions in real time. We even maintain a digital dashboard, to ensure that there is parity, whether it is gender or other aspects of the DEI, which we look at. So the greater push to digital is the first. The second is stronger linkage with performance. So we are moving away from the traditional approach of rewarding at the end of the year, and which also you suffer from a recency bias or a halo bias. It is more specific to what is the performance matrix you're looking at and what is it the employee doing for that. In Sun Life, we have a global platform run by an organization called Achievers. We call it Applause. And at any point in time, you can go and recognize an employee in any part of the world, and both monetary and non-monetary recognition. And every time you do that, an email goes to all the employees who are tagged and who are in that particular business unit, thereby giving a lot more social recognition to what you're applauding and what you are looking at. So that is a second aspect which is very critical. And the third trend, apart from the push to digital and link to performance, the third trend is, I would say, is how do you use reward and recognition as a stronger culture building and a tool to encourage learning. So, for example, how do we kind of recognize the right set of values which an employee is practicing, or if we are wanting them to display a certain learning agility. So we actually have at Sun Life a learning hour, and we recognize employees who fully utilize that learning hour and post what are the certificates and badges they have gained,
Okay.
on different digital platforms where they go for learning. So from that perspective, it also helps peer-to-peer recognition. It helps in leadership connect. We are able to build a culture where we are rewarding and recognizing the employees for the work they are doing, for the values they are displaying, and for the learning they are gaining. So in ways, more ways than one, you are able to achieve a lot of objectives through the medium of reward and recognition.
Okay, I mean, it's very exciting to see that within your organizational realm, you're taking out, initiatives to boost your employees in order to, so that they actually put in efforts to, gain knowledge through various learning modules that you are actually providing them. But how do you think, or to what extent do you think that the learning modules that are provided by organizations is actually a boost to employees and a medium to retain as well? I mean, do you think such activities by employers can actually lower, employees to stay within a certain organizational realm with royalty?
I would say that you do utilize and employ multiplicity of factors for retention.
Okay.
Uh, Most of the employees who at times leave jobs also do because of boredom and the
Mhm.
monotony which sets in when they do the same kind of job day in and day out. Uh, if you link learning to internal mobility and you allow employees to learn new skills and explore jobs through the uh, through process of internal job posting, you're actually able to give them a new role every 18 to 24 months, and thereby enhancing and increasing the retention, because many times you're removing the monotony. They're learning a new skill, they're getting into a new job, they're getting into a new team,
Mhm.
and they're making new friends, and that's something they really prize. And by giving them that opportunity of learning the skills, we and linking it to mobility, we are ensuring that they are utilizing the learning. If they do a lot of learning but they do what they are doing and they are not utilizing it, then obviously you will be faced with a threat of attrition. But if you are able to do that, it helps. Also, technology and work processes are changing very fast,
Mhm.
and it is any organization which wants to ramp up. An ideal mix would be bringing in 25% experts from outside, but retraining, upskilling, reskilling 75% of the target requirement from within. So, again, learning and development becomes a key tool of organization growth, capability development, and sustaining the culture one has I would say, carefully built in the organization.
So, from a brand perspective, there are a number of industry-wide recognitions being conferred within organizations. According to you, how critical are these to strengthen a brand journey?
Well, I must mention that one has to be careful about the recognitions one is comfortable in going along with, because there are a plethora of recognitions in the market. Uh, and I think it's important that one chooses the recognitions which have a credibility, which are administered by a neutral body with an element of objectivity and respected by the peer group in the sector or segment one is operating in. We are an insurance and wealth management firm, uh, and therefore at Sun Life, when we look at brand association with different recognition platforms, or platforms which are recognizing us for the work we do, one of the platforms which we have gone with is Great Place to Work. It's an international
Okay.
certification body, And in India, we've been ranked as in the top 100 great places to work. In 2022, we were ranked at number 65. We were also ranked by the Everest Consulting Company as one of the top 15, you know, I would say, global capability centers to operate in India.
Okay.
So that was another aspect. As an insurance company, we do a lot of work with Loma, which is insurance certification, and we have won the Loma Education Award, which is given to about 50 odd organizations out of 1250 organizations which are a part of the Loma universe. We have won it 8 times, with the last 3 times in a row. It enables our employees, both in operations and technology, to get a good head start on insurance operations as they get into the organization, learn the ropes, and support our business partners across the globe. So some of these recognitions come in handy. They act as a very powerful talent magnet.
Mhm.
We are able to attract better talent because of the fact that we are working, we are recognized in the market as an organization which is a great place to work, or which has a learning culture recognized by Loma or by the consulting companies like Everest. So they definitely make a lot of difference, both in terms of attracting and retaining talent. Even the employees who are within the organization feel that they are working in a place which is being recognized in the marketplace, and they are proud of that.
They should be, of course, the kind of initiatives that I'm hearing on behalf of Sun Life that you're putting in. It actually showcases that an employee is putting in an extra effort in order to retain, because in this times, companies, organizations are not shying away from accepting the fact that yes, they are fighting the talent crunch, they're fighting the talent war, and they will go to any extent to retain best of their employees, because that will actually gauge them attention and the success path. So it is very heartening to see that the employers too these days are taking in efforts along with the management on how to scale, what all initiatives to bring in, what should be provided to our respective employees so that they feel comfortable with us. Also being embarked upon journeys wherein you are being recognized as great places to work and by different other organizations as well. So yeah, actually it turns or it plays a boon for employees who are staying within one's organization, thinking that they're actually on right path. Rajiv, we initially also talked about rewards and recognition as a tool to attract new talent. Can you shed some more light on this aspect, or can you tell us few initiatives or few provisions that companies can actually instill within their realm, so that it also helps them build, it also helps them attract new talent?
That's right. One of the things, before I answer your question, I wanted to lay some context.
Sure.
Few days back, we were talking about great resignations.
Right.
These days, we are talking about mass layoffs. So the talent landscape is changing so dramatically, because of the external economic forces and the
Mhm.
global events which are happening. Uh, I feel that an organization has to continuously put in more and more effort uh, to attract talent. And reward and recognition becomes one aspect when you see an organization recognizing its employees publicly on social media consistently. You get a sense of the culture the organization has.
Right.
And whether it is the service anniversaries which are broadcast, or whether it is welcoming new employees into the organization, it makes a lot of difference to the employee morale and to the target population which an organization may want to hire. So from that perspective, I feel it is critical to kind of continuously put in efforts. One also needs to ensure that elements of fairness elements of performance management, diversity, equity, and inclusion are also properly called out in the messaging to the target employee candidate pool which one is looking at. And I would say that organizations like Glassdoor are also tools where employees, both current and uh, previous ex-employees, go and write comments about the organization. And if you have a good reward and recognition culture, it will definitely feature in. If you are a well-recognized or a brand in the market, again, it features. People are able to draw, the association from that perspective. There also has to be a consistency, whether it is being recognized and felicitated externally, or it is recognizing your employees on an ongoing basis. So, and I think in these times, it's important that we leverage the digital, we leverage technology, and we also do not miss out on the human element of recognition, because technology is an enabler. Technology is not replacing the human
Right.
element. So a lot of these things, I think it's important to kind of bring together to have a employee value proposition where employees look forward to coming and working for the organization.
If we were to name this one recognition aspect or a way that you think will never go off road, what would that be? The traditional
I,
recognition way.
I can tell you a traditional recognition which I value as an individual and which I value as a manager. If I was to give it to someone, I
Mhm.
would still like to write down or receive a well written card or a communication which says thank you for a job well done, and also
Okay.
calls out what was well done. And it can be a small note, it doesn't have to be a huge you know details, but
Mm-hmm.
something which if my manager writes down and gives it to me, I would feel very touched, because it brings out the fact that someone thought about what you did, took the trouble of penning it down, and then handing it over to you.
It's
And I think
actually,
that is what I,
basically you're underlining the fact that efforts which are done, with your own hands and not by making the use of tech is something that will always be very close to you.
that's right. I mean, and again, it's spontaneously. It doesn't have to be a special occasion. Sometimes it's just a thank you. At times, it could also be a genuine expression of thanks. It could be in the corridor. It could be in a brief meeting. Many times we do not take the time out to appreciate and express
Right.
our gratitude or thanks for a job well done or recognize it. We keep waiting for the next opportunity or event,
Mhm.
but some of the things which really matter are more which are authentic, on time, and communicated in a very simple manner.
No, actually, it lays in a very great impact because deep down you will always remember that one gesture that somebody took, or that one initiative somebody took and congratulated you for the work that you've been doing. And it always feels nice to be commended of the kind of work that you're doing, even if it's a critique, something that you want to, something that your boss wants you to actually work upon. But it actually showcases that somebody is noticing you. Somebody is
That's
noticing your work, somebody is noticing your caliber and taking out time to actually give out at least or feedback or something like just appreciating your work. Lastly, any anecdote that you would like to share with us and with the people who are hearing? You've not been CHRO since the beginning. You've actually climbed stairs and there would always be that one recognition or that one reward that you would remember which helped you move on to the next ladder of success.
uh, this is a you've actually taken me back many years. In one of the organizations, we were having a kind of a family day, bring your kids to work.
Okay. Okay.
And I was there with my wife and daughter. And my daughter was busy in a painting competition or putting something together with other children. And my manager invited me and my wife into a conference room to have a brief word. and he pleasantly surprised me by handing over a promotion letter for me to my wife and thanking her for the efforts, in which I felt very touched. It was something very different. I had never experienced something like that. Uh, he spoke briefly. He thanked her for her support in helping me deliver my best to the organization. He told her how much the organization valued me, and I actually, when I think back, I don't think there was a more powerful gesture I've experienced in my life than that one. And he converted a good news of promotion into a medium of recognition and expression of gratitude, and also binding the family to the organization.
Thanking
You
actually
know,
the
my
family for their sacrifices as well.
Absolutely. And till date, my wife feels that that was one of the very good organizations I worked for. And I think it all happened because a manager took the trouble of doing something very unique and very different in a very
Of
authentic
course.
and warm manner.
And I believe everybody hearing this, they will have their own anecdotes also to share. All those hearing, if you want to share your anecdotes, if you want to share how you've been rewarded or recognized, you can actually fill in your stories in the comment section below in LinkedIn. So thank you so much for actually joining us, taking out time, sharing your views, sharing your anecdotes. It was indeed a very conversational and a very joyful session. All those people also who actually want to ask something or have queries regarding with regards to kind of rewards and recognition strategies that they can put in within their own organization, you can actually put in the questions and tag Mr. Bhagwaj. He'll be happy to help you and answer all your queries. But thank you so much, sir, for joining us and for taking out time for this HR Voices segment with us. Thank you so much.
Thank, thank you, Sugandh. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Thank you for asking some very insightful questions. And
Thank you, sir.
so, once again, thank you to you and the business world for this opportunity.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.